Y'all get ready?
Yes, you get ready.
Hey, yeah. If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Nicki Minaj, honey, she has some type of weird relationship with the administration here. So, out of nowhere, Trump decided Sunday that he is ready to basically go into Nigeria. He's saying that Christians are being killed. I wasn't expecting this on Sunday when this happened. 2 days ago. Somebody posted this, says U.S. President Donald Trump on Saturday said he has ordered the Pentagon to begin planning a potential military action in Nigeria as he stepped up allegations that the government is failing to rein in persecutions of Christians in the West African country. So he says this, if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country guns a-blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. Trump posted that on his social media. I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs that attacked our cherished Christians. Y'all know I had something to say. But yeah, so that's what he said. But we're going to go on ahead and focus on what Nicki had to say, okay? So Nicki, she was getting drugged on social media. A lot of people were really upset. Nicki Minaj dragged online after thanking Trump for threatening military violence in Nigeria. So Nicki reposted him. She says this. Reading this made me feel a deep sense of gratitude. We live in a country where we can freely worship God. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion. We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. Numerous countries around the world are being affected by this horror, and it's dangerous to pretend we don't notice. Thank you to the president and his team for taking this seriously. God bless every persecuted Christian. Let's remember to lift them in prayer. So that is what she said. She got a lot of backlash from people. One of her barbs said this to her. They said, Nicki is a diehard fan who genuinely sticks beside you through every single scandal. You cozying up to this fucking loser, I might actually have to tap out. We live in a country that wants to weaponize religion, so your gay fans can't be something else to cut off. So Nicki replies back to that person and she says this. Imagine hearing that Christians are being murdered and making it about you being gay. When my home was swatted multiple times with my innocent toddler inside, with maybe 20 officers with guns drawn pointed at our home due to political corruption, you being gay couldn't save me. Expecting someone to stay oppressed, abused, and targeted, harassed, and consistently ignored by public figures who were supposed to be helping them says more about you than it does about anyone. I'll advocate for you the same way that I'm advocating for murdered Christians in Nigeria, like I always have. Just remember that diligently, compassionately. Just remember that part 2, LOL. And I know you're not a diehard fan. Let me think if I want to block you for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Love you. Nicki just be ranting and raving, child. Don't be talking about shit. First of all, this is nonsense. It is. A lot of people wanted me to do a breakdown on it. I'm not going to do a whole breakdown. I'm just going to give my quick opinion. I'm not going to do a whole breakdown on the situation because the situation is a lot deeper. First of all, it's not just Christians being killed in that area. There's also Muslims being killed as well. This is not even about religion, more or less. a lot of it is tribalism. And a lot of it is them just trying to get rid of people in these areas for other reasons. It has nothing to do with religion per se. Are there Christians being killed and slaughtered? Absolutely. But there are also Muslims being killed and slaughtered. But what I find very interesting is that all of a sudden you're worried about Nigeria and these Christians. Meanwhile, you have Christians here in America who are needing their benefits, who have lost their job. The job market is shit right now. You have Christians here in this country who are struggling, but you're worried about Christians in a whole nother country, right? On top of that, let's not forget there's also a war brewing in the Caribbean, in Venezuela. Now, I don't know if you guys realize this, but Russia has made Russia, they've now made their appearance. And guess who they're siding with? Venezuela. He claims that he's in Venezuela because of all this drug trafficking. All these drug dealers are trafficking drugs, and he's trying to stop it. He's already killed about 9 Venezuelans, so-called drug traffickers. Okay, so keep that in mind. So let's deal with Venezuela. We're gonna come back to Nigeria. We're gonna take a trip around the world real quick here. So let's deal with Venezuela real quick.
And now moving to South America, where tensions are rapidly escalating across the Caribbean as Venezuela and the United States edge closer and closer to a dangerous standoff. The situation follows a series of U.S. airstrikes, sharp political statements from Washington and Caracas, and Venezuela's close ties with Russia that are once again coming into sharp focus. President Nicolas Maduro said Venezuela and Russia maintain ongoing military cooperation despite the growing tension between Caracas and Washington. In fact, the governments of Venezuela and Russia have signed numerous cooperation agreements covering trade, energy, education, military affairs, drug enforcement, and security, including an intelligence and counterintelligence pact.
We have daily, ongoing communication with the Russian government on all issues, as we have many projects in development. This week, there was major news about military cooperation, something natural, since we've had 25 years of military collaboration.
After years of collaboration, Moscow now plays a crucial role in strengthening Caracas's defenses. A newly verified video by the Army Recognition Group shows Russian-built missile systems deployed near the Venezuelan capital. The system can target U.S. fighter jets as well as Tomahawk cruise missiles. Experts say this marks a significant upgrade to Venezuela's defenses and poses a very real challenge for U.S. air power in the region.
A huge number of Venezuelan cadets and officers have trained in Russia, and many Russian officers have come to Venezuela. This cooperation has been calm, steady, and very fruitful, and it will continue.
Now, in typical Russian fashion, the Kremlin is urging calm, all the while providing defense systems to Caracas. Russia's TASS news agency reported Moscow's call for restraint in U.S.-Venezuela relations, even as militaries of both nations appear to be edging closer and closer to a confrontation. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, in his weekly address on Monday, praised the UN Human Rights Commissioner for condemning recent U.S. airstrikes in South America. The UN official has labeled the strikes carried out on alleged drug traffickers as unacceptable and a breach of international law.
The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, has said that airstrikes by the United States of America on boats in the Caribbean and in the Pacific violate international human rights law. These attacks and their mounting human cost are unacceptable.
Maduro hailed the statement as a step forward for international justice, saying the world needed a rights chief who defended global norms and challenged crimes threatening the Caribbean.
This is the kind of UN human rights chief the world needs. He is someone who defends international law, human rights, and stands against crimes like these that threaten the lives of Caribbean peoples and, most seriously, the peace and stability of our region.
However, the irony of Maduro's statements did not go unnoticed. Just months earlier, Venezuela's National Assembly had declared the same UN official persona non grata after he criticized alleged detentions and disappearances under Maduro's rule. Yet this week, Maduro aligned himself with the UN official's words as Washington faces mounting criticism for its expanding military campaign. Now, according to U.S. officials, the strikes in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific aim to dismantle drug networks, and at least 15 U.S. attacks have destroyed 14 boats and killed more than 60 people. Regional governments have accused Washington of conducting extrajudicial killings without offering proof that the victims were in fact smugglers or even posed a threat to the United States.
I don't see this as a coincidence. No, sir, I see this as a great moment. This is causality. The people of Venezuela do not deserve to be under the threat and criminal siege of U.S. imperialism.
President Donald Trump, in a 60 Minutes interview, which aired on Sunday, downplayed talk of war, but did warn that Maduro's days were numbered. And when asked if the U.S. would actually go to war with Venezuela, Trump replied, quote, "I doubt it. I don't think so," end quote. The Caribbean sits on a knife's edge with Russian missiles on alert, U.S. warships on patrol, and both leaders trading threats. The world now watches closely, wondering which will come first, diplomacy or detonation.
Want the facts?
All right, let me come back on the screen here. So it is a lot. It's a lot of stuff we've been talking about, like on Discord. It's a lot going on geopolitically. But I wanted to play that for y'all so y'all can understand there's a lot of distractions, a lot of things that are going on. Now, one of the things I always tell y'all is to follow the money trail. Follow, there's more than meets the eye. So they're claiming that they're going to Venezuela to get rid of the drug dealers and all this and that. But if you understand anything about Venezuela, they have a lot of oil. And right now, there's like a arms race for oil, minerals, things to take us into the 21st century, especially with AI. I talked about this in the last video that I put out. There's a race to get these chips for the semiconductors, just different minerals and things like that. My issue is this, that with this whole Nigeria situation, this is just a smoke screen, okay? If there's any Nigerians in the house, shout out to all my Nigerians, no matter what tribe you're from, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa. I know a lot of us watch Very Dark Man, right, on Instagram. Now, a few months ago, I talked about, I think somebody sent me a super chat because we ended up discussing it. And y'all were asking me about Very Dark Man when he was out there in the Benue area. And remember, all of those farmers were killed. And I don't know if he just happened to be out there when it happened or if he traveled. I'm not sure. But this happened like around June or July. Do you guys remember that for the Benue state killings? That happened this past summer. We kind of talked about it. This was like a really big deal because, like I said, Very Dark Man has like a huge, I see on my my green, white, and green. He has a huge following. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think all the Nigerians around the diaspora follow him, right? So he was there, and what happened is that over, I believe, like 160 people, they were killed overnight. Like militia, Fulani herdsmen, they came in, they were killing them, setting people on fire. So when he went the next day, he was walking through and you're like seeing dead bodies, burnt bodies. It was so sad. You know what I mean? And, he was there to like report live, like people lost their whole families. Okay. This was just a few months ago. So how come when the Benue State, killings happened in June, Where was Nicki? Where was Trump? Why was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing that's annoying, because it's like, where did all this just come from 2 days ago? They've been out there killing people. They've been killing Christians. They've been killing Muslims. And then you got to ask yourself, where are all these people getting the firepower, the guns? Who is backing these militias that are killing these farmers and these innocent people? They're going in slaughtering men, women, and children. Yeah, it's a lot. I can't really just show you. Let me see if I can show you something that's not graphic. Okay, because First Post reported on it. It wasn't reported here. Like, First Post, Weon reported on it, but like I said, we all got it firsthand because we follow a very dark man. So he was talking about it as it was happening. But let me take y'all back to June. First Post posted on it. So let's watch this real quick here. So y'all can get an idea of like what happened during this whole massacre.
As the attack lasted for over 5 hours, gunshots rang out throughout the night. And in a gruesome turn, many victims were locked inside their homes and burned alive. Now, many residents remain missing, and the community is grieving massive loss.
Fired for almost 5 hours. They met a stiff resistance here from the police. Immediately when they met the resistance, they moved towards Yellow New Market. There they slaughtered more than 100 persons. The incidents lasted for more than 5 hours. They burnt some of our community members in stores there. There are some stores that are housing more than 50 persons. All were burnt down.
The attack.
So this was just June 16th. Put a teacup if you've never heard of this situation. I'm sure many people never heard of this situation. This was just in June. If you've never heard of this whole attack that took place. The whole thing is just really sick. We're going to keep watching.
Attack occurred in the central Benue state. The identity of the attackers remains unknown, but the region has witnessed a surge in deadly communal clashes. Such violence is common in Nigeria's north and middle belts, where Muslim Fulani herders and Christian farmers routinely clash over land and water access. Farmers accuse Fulani herders of destroying crops, while the herders claim that grazing rights under laws that date back to 1965. Witnesses claim that Fulani herdsmen were responsible for this attack, targeting rural Christian communities. Some villagers have returned to charred ruins to find the burned bodies of their loved ones.
I was told that my wife tried escaping with one of her children, but she was shot in front of the door where she fell, and they butchered her. So when I came in the morning, I identified her by a piece of wrapper that was left from what she wore because she was completely burnt. I picked her and the child that was with her and went to bury them. The other 3 children I could not find because so many children were burnt beyond recognition, and I could not differentiate mine.
I woke up today wondering about my lost goods, and I haven't been able to eat, and I'm pregnant. I'm wondering how we will be able to cope and feed in the town where we all ran to. So, I came back, and even if it's death, I don't mind. That's why I came back.
The incident has also triggered protests. On Sunday, thousands marched in Makurdi, the capital of Benue State, demanding justice and an end to the carnage. Police responded with tear gas to disperse the demonstrators, who called on the state government to break the cycle of bloodshed. Now, Nigerian President Bola Tinubu has vowed decisive action. He has directed security forces to hunt down and prosecute all of those responsible. Benue's governor confirmed that tactical teams and federal troops are now being deployed to high-risk areas. While the
Okay, let me come back on the screen. So this took place in June. Nothing has been done. Nobody has been arrested for this. But this was a huge story. On Nigerian social media, everybody was talking about this. Like I said, very dark man had a lot of eyes on this. So To me, when I look at all this stuff that's going on, because like I said, when this was taking place in June, Trump said nothing. There was nothing being discussed. There was no. Imagine if he would have highlighted this when it was taking place. So it's very interesting that now we fast forward to November and Nigeria is on your map. Like I always tell you guys, you have to follow the money. Okay? I find it very interesting that there is going to be a potential war in Venezuela. Maduro and all them, they have oil, they have resources. But when you also look at Nigeria, remember what happened about a year ago that's supposed to also bring, on top of the Belt and Road Initiative with China, let's not forget China's hands is heavy in Nigeria. They've done a lot of revitalization in certain parts of Nigeria. But also remember, this was a few months ago, they have a $400 million plant. And this plant is supposed to help basically with the digging and the ciphering of rare earth minerals. Because in that area, there's a lot of rare earth minerals in that part of Nigeria. Let me share this with you guys. For the people who want to cuss me out on Instagram and tell me to shut up. So that particular area where the killings happened this summer, where a lot of these killings are going on with the herdsmen, you know, the Muslims, the Christians and stuff like that, that area is very rich in rare earth minerals. Montazite sand, which contains elements such as cerium, lanthanum, I can't pronounce all these names, but y'all see the damn minerals here, okay? And so there has been like a race to start developing plants and things out there in Nigeria to be able to get these rare earth minerals because, again, we are moving into past the 21st century. AI, whoever wins the AI arms race is really going to control humanity at this point. And so, just recently, remember, Trump was meeting with Xi Jinping, the president of China, because he's trying to get access to rare earth minerals. Okay? China has built a lot of really close relationships in Africa with a lot of African nations because they've taken money, they've put it into places like Nigeria and other countries. They have the Belt and Road Initiative, which has built roads and bridges, and it's supposed to bring Africa into the 21st century. China has put a lot of money into Nigeria. And so he's trying to work with Xi Jinping to try and get rare earth minerals. On top of that, also around the time that I don't find this to be a coincidence. Remember that attack happened on June 16, 2025 in Benue State. In the same area, they also plan to build the $400 million mineral plant. FG Backs plan to build $400 million mineral plant in Asara. Now, I don't know how far this is exactly, location-wise, but it's in Nigeria. That's the point.
The Nigerian government is set to become a dominant player in the global rare earth and critical minerals market with the construction of Africa's largest rare earth processing plant.
My tin head is fucking tingling, okay? Or should I say my tingele is tingling. Here's the plant. Here's where the massacre took place. Benue State killings. It's not too far from where they're building the biggest plant to basically help dig up and get these rare earth minerals. But y'all raggedy hoes told me to shut up on Instagram and that I was reaching. Let us continue.
Nasarawa State.
Rare earth minerals are used in almost every technology you can think of. They're present in cell phones, medical devices, wind turbines, weapons, and much more. But what are they? And why are they important? And are they actually rare?
So the term rare earth elements, it refers to 17 chemically similar elements within the lanthanide series.
This is Professor Julie Michelle Klinger, a geographer and senior visiting fellow at the Institute for Human Sciences.
So if you can picture the periodic table, it's that bar at the bottom. Elements 57 to 71, plus scandium and yttrium.
What did you say, sir? The largest rare earth plant in Africa is literally not too far from where these, these killings and everything are taking place. $400 million investment. Y'all know where that money coming from. Cause it's my best friend. She a real bad bitch. Got her own money. She don't need... China and Russia. Mainly China. Remember, before Prigozhin was shot down, allegedly by Putin, remember he was really instrumental in helping in Burkina Faso to get the French people out of there. Remember, they were running with Russian flags and everything else. Russia and China got a chokehold in Africa. And America don't like that. Okay? They don't like that. Let's continue.
Policy is right on 6,000 metric ton per annum capacity for rare
Y'all know these Nigerian news videos. They just be clipping stuff together, but y'all get the idea, okay? And shout out to Future 5001. He said, yes, is right, okay? So this is what's really good. Like I always say, you just got to follow the money. Nobody just wakes up one day and just starts trying to threaten, Nigeria with war. Because all of a sudden now they care about these Christians being slaughtered. Like I said, that entire situation took place June 16th. And then literally a week later, they're announcing the largest rare earth mineral plant in Africa. It's in Nigeria, not too far from Benue State. Okay? Again, if they're so worried about genocides that are going on, and the killings that are going on are messed up. Like, don't get me wrong. It's fucked up what's going on, okay, in Nigeria. Innocent people losing their life. None of that is okay. Nobody's saying that. It needs to be stopped. But the Nigerian government needs to handle that. Tinubu needs to get off his old ass and do what he needs to do, okay? So, my issue is, Trump is talking like he's coming in to genuinely save the Nigerians, the Christians, and this and that. And that's not what it is. Because if they're so concerned about a potential genocide, what about the genocide that's happening right now in Sudan? What about all the people that are getting killed right now in Sudan? Why is that quiet? You're seeing bits and pieces on social media, but he's not talking about, going into Sudan and whooping ass and starting war. And they're really going through a genocide and been going through a genocide now for damn near 3-4 years. And it's getting even worse right now as we speak. But see, they're not really saying anything about Sudan because they're allowing them people to kill each other and do the genocide, because eventually they're going to swoop in and come and get their minerals too. Because if you guys don't know, the place where everything is happening right now in Sudan, they have a lot of rare earth minerals there as well. So I believe this is why a lot of people are quiet. A lot of the countries who can do something, they're going to step in once.
This is a gold mine in northern Sudan.
Let's go ahead. I told you I'm going to take y'all around the world. We done went from Venezuela to Nigeria. Now we're going to go to Sudan real quick before I get up out of here. Sudan's vast mineral wealth. So for people constantly asking, why is there a genocide? Why are they killing people? That video with that mother and her 3 kids was so heartbreaking. The fear that she had in her eyes, the fear that I've never seen kids look that damn fearful. They knew death was coming. And then for all 3 of them to just be killed is insane. The videos that are coming out of Sudan is insane. It's heartbreaking. It's terrifying. But you notice nobody is running to go do anything, to go put an end to it. Let's watch this video. This is why nobody's running to put an end to it. They want these people to kill themselves.
Sudan is the third largest gold producer in all of Africa, behind South Africa and Ghana. Gold makes up 70% of its exports, and it's estimated 85% of that comes from small-scale mining, not large industrial operations. The country's officially declared gold production has nearly doubled since the start of the war, 65 tons of bullion last year, but the real figure is estimated to be much higher. Analysts say
it has doubled since the beginning of the war. Who is funding these people? If they're in a war for religious reasons or whatever, cockamamie story they want to put out there, who's funding them to be able to double production of gold? It's a distraction. Let them kill these people. These people won't leave the land because it's their land. They won't leave, voluntarily. So we're going to force them off the land by just killing them and massacring them, because what they're after is the gold, is the minerals.
Most of the illicitly exported gold is smuggled abroad by the paramilitary RSF. Sudan has gold deposits across various regions. These include the Red Sea Hills, the Nuba Mountains and Darfur. Then there's copper, found mainly in the Red Sea Hills and the Nuba Mountains. Copper is increasingly valuable because it is vital for the AI and tech boom.
Boom! AI and tech boom. Y'all don't understand how deep this stuff goes. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I only like to talk deep on YouTube because, it's YouTube. But this stuff goes so deep. It's very easy. And, again, I'm not blaming Nicki because, she doesn't know, the history of Nigeria and these wars and all this stuff. She's looking at it more like, oh, Christians are being killed. I, too, am a Christian. Oh, go Trump. And that's how the average person is looking at it, right, from a surface level. So I'm not even here to, knock her, drag her, because she doesn't understand. She's not going to look that deeply into it, right? Maybe if it was affecting her country of Trinidad, maybe, but she's not going to go that deeply into Nigeria, the politics and stuff like that. Most people aren't, unless you have a tie to that country or unless you're into geopolitical stuff, right? But that's what I want y'all to understand, that all of this stuff that's going on globally, all of this evil, demonic shit that's going on is because there's literally an arms race for minerals, gold, copper, like they said, because AI is what's destined to take over the world. Every country right now, well, the big superpowers, they're in a race. They're in an AI arms race. And America is very far behind right now. China is winning. Why do you think they went and did all that stuff that they did? Oh my God, what is his name? With Marco Rubio. What was that? The Panama Canal? Okay, it was. When he demanded that the Panama Canal reduce the Chinese influence over the canal. Remember this? This was just in February when he first came into the office, into the White House. Remember, this was Marco Rubio's job in February. Who remembers this? They do not like China's influence over a lot of these countries around the globe. China has turned into a huge threat for them. That's why he's willing to go into Nigeria guns a-blazing. They want access to the minerals, and they want to fuck up that Belt and Road Initiative that China has in place with Nigeria and other West African countries. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's sad. It's sad what's going on. Somebody says, don't forget he wants Greenland and Denmark as well. R. Wilson says, China's technology is years ahead of the U.S. It is. Never been, but I remember when I was on Red Note. Blew me away. I had no idea. They were showing shit, all types of mini robots and China is light years ahead of us. Their train station, I've never seen nothing like it. I mean, you see the train station in New York, you know, the subways are dilapidated, nasty. You're hopping over rats and shit, crackheads everywhere. You could eat off the floors in the Chinese train station. So, man, it's a lot. The whole situation goes deep. But he's not trying to save Christians in Nigeria out of good faith and out of, you know, helping, you know, the fellow Christians of that country. Because if you're not even helping Christians in your own country, if y'all are sitting here for Halloween having a great, you know, the Great Gatsby party. Did y'all see the party they had for Halloween? Food and drink and all type. I mean, they had it looked like something out for the Hunger Games. See if I can pull that up. Yeah, it was giving let them eat cake. I don't know if y'all saw this. This was the party that happened. Okay, I don't want music. Let me just mute it. But this was at Mar-a-Lago. This is what they was doing on Halloween. All the rich folks having a good old funky time. As the clock struck midnight and the SNAP benefits stopped for low-income families, Trump arranged his guests. This was October 31st at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, it's playing music. I don't want to play music. Everybody looks good, dressed to the nines. I'm like, what in the Hunger Games is going on here? This is insane. But there's Christians here who are literally crying. Crying.
Between, you know, the Democrats are doing and what the Republicans are doing. What about the split screen about the fact that the Trump administration is administering only part of the SNAP program while President Trump is having a gathering party at Mar-a-Lago?
Okay. By the way, the president had an annual Halloween theme party every year at Mar-a-Lago. That's what he went back to as obligatory tradition. Obligatory tradition. Obligatory tradition.
You talk about the split screen between you know, the Democrats are doing and what the Republicans.
It's insane. So y'all see that? How are you worried about Christians in Nigeria, but you got Christians here who are going through it, who are not getting their benefits, you know, who are out of work. It was a video I saw earlier of this lady. She was getting interviewed on the news. She was just kind of crying, saying that she hasn't eaten. You know, she can't eat because she has to feed her, you know, her kids. And it's just really sad. There's a lot of people here who are going through it, you know, and you got people in blackface and making fun and thinking that it's funny. But yeah, anyways, like I said, you have a lot of people here.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.